Born March 26, 1991 in Kentucky, Hishi Amazon was a star from the very beginning. Her mom, Katie's, was a $1 million mare who produced a whole stable of winners, including Hishi Nile, Hishi Pinnacle, but none would achieve the fame and success of her most celebrated child. The racing world would come to know Amazon as the strongest mare of her time, a force of nature on the track, but off the track she was a stark contrast to her tough-as-nails anime counterpart. In the stable, Amazon was surprisingly docile, timid, and quiet. So gentle, in fact, it's said that she would even back away from the barn cats that stood their ground. However, once she hit the track, it was a completely different story.
ばらついたスタートで6番の東海ビスタ、それから1番の白北ウィーナー、タイミングが合いません。好スタートは2番のシスターソノであります。シスターソノが好スタートを見せまして体半分のリード、これを追って3番のヒシアマゾン、外から同じ勝負服がシアトルフェアであります。シアトルフェアが先手を取りました。2番手にシスターソノ、3番手3番関東はヒシアマゾンであります。4番が KI メロディー、それから8番がローブモンタント、外を通る黄色い帽子アイアムフェアリーであります。ピンクの帽子がタックスヘイブンです。そのうちにイブキネックです。それからゼッケン番号7番の競泳コロナ、その外を通りまして東海ビスタであります。あと内から5番の鶴丸ガール、ゼッケン番号14番が新明朝日であります。それから1番の白北ウィーナーが続いて、緑の帽子がエイシンバーモント、あとしんがりから行きますのがサンライズドーター。こういう展開、早くも第3コーナーのカーブであります。まもなく半マイル標識にかかりますが47秒ちょっとであります。先頭は10番のシアトルフェア、体半分のリード。2番手は外を通ってヒシアマゾンか、内からシスターソノ、内からシスターソノ、松永幹雄ががっちりと抑えています。その後ろから KI メロディー4番手、 KI メロディー4番手タックスヘイブン、内を通って9番のアイアムフェアリー、それからイブキネックレスが差を詰めてきた。ローブモンタントであります。さあ第4コーナーを回ります。シスターソノ先頭、シスターソノ先頭か。しかしまだ真ん中でシアトルフェア粘っている。
追いつく、追い越す、一歩も引かねえ。タイマンだ。
シアマゾン来た、シアマゾン来た。一番外から赤い帽子 KI メロディー、左口が飛んでいる。先頭はシアマゾン、シアマゾン先頭、内の方でシスターソノは伸びない。外から KI メロディー来た、 KI メロディー、先頭はシアマゾン、シアマゾン1馬身2馬身リードを取りました。 KI メロディー2番手、内からロープモンタント、外からタックスヘイブン、タックスヘイブン、エイシンバーモント来た。シアマゾン圧勝です。勝ち時計は1分35秒9。
She dominated the Hanshin Juvenile's filly race, winning by a massive 5 lengths and setting a new record time. The impressive win earned her Japanese Racing Association's award for Best 2-Year-Old Filly in 1993. The following year brought an unexpected challenge. While other horses in her class were heading for the Triple Tiara series of races, Amazon would be left out. Due to the racing rules at the time, she was not eligible to compete in the Oka Show or the Japanese Oaks because she was a foreign-born horse. She instead turned her sights to the Crystal Cup, a race held at the Nakayama Racecourse the same week as the Oka Show. Here, Hishi Amazon put the racing world on notice. In the final stretch, with less than 100 meters to go, she exploded past the entire pack, catching the leader and winning in a display of pure power.
ヒシアマゾンがぐんぐん差を詰めてくる。さあ逃げ込みを図ります。耐久ルフ逃げ込みを図ります。外をついてヒシアマゾン、この2頭の争いになった。先頭は耐久ルフ、まだ1馬身のリードがある。そして2番手にはヒシアマゾンが差を詰めてくる。ヒシアマゾンが並んだ、かわした合輪。
And this was just the start of her winning spree. She went on to win the G2 New Zealand Trophy, the Queen Stakes, and the Rose Stakes, bringing her graded race winning streak to an unbelievable 5 in a row. Yet, the racing world was left divided. Who was the real champion? Japanese-bred Chokai Carol was on a winning streak of her own and was crowned champion of the Japanese Oaks. Some fans believed if Amazon could have competed, she would have won. Others believed that Carol was the superior horse. In the 1994 Queen Elizabeth Cup held at the Kyoto Racecourse, fans finally got to place their bets and find out once and for all.
植え込みを回って直線、あとゴールまで 400m であります。バースルート粘る、天山来た、天山豊が来た。一番外からシアマゾン、シアマゾン、鳥海キャロル、内からアグネス、外からメモリージャスパー突っ込んできた。さあ鳥海か、アマゾンか、シアマゾンか、鳥海キャロルか、シアマゾンと鳥海キャロル、シアマゾンか、鳥海か、並んでゴールイン。
In a heart-pounding, dead heat photo finish, and after a long, intense deliberation, the winner was finally declared.
こっから先も末永く私についてきな。
This win wasn't just another victory, it was a statement. These girls broke the record time for the race, proving that fillies were just as competitive as the male horses who were dominating the sport at the time. This win also tied a record for consecutive graded race wins, putting her in elite company, with horses like Temamo Cross and Oguri Cap. But to break that record, she would have to face her biggest challenge yet. At the 1994 Arima Keenan, standing in her way was a true monster of the track. Narita Bryant, arguably the strongest horse of this generation, was also running in the race, and as he did for the majority of his career, he completely dominated the field.
成田ブライアンだ。成田ブライアンが先頭で2番手桜千歳が上がっている。シアマゾンがその外から内粘るネイハイシーザー直線に向かって成田ブライアンリードを開くか。リードはその後1馬身。しかしシアマゾンが追ってくる。シアマゾン、そしてナイスネイチャー突っ込んできた。ナイスネイチャー現在3番手。しかし成田ブライアン強い2馬身のリード。シアマゾン追ってくる。シアマゾン追ってくる。差はつまらない。3番手ライシャが上がった。先頭は成田ブライアンゴールイン。
However, showing immense grit, Amazon was able to place a very respectable second. This was a huge achievement. It marked the first time in 21 years that a 3-year-old mare had placed in the top 2 at the Arima Keenan. She had beaten all the other boys and officially cemented her legendary status. The early part of 1995 was a tough one for Amazon. She made the trip back to the US in hopes of competing on her home soil, but fell ill before she could compete. She was sent back to Japan, but the illness and travel time had already taken its toll. Her next race saw her land uncharacteristically low in 5th place. This marked the first time in 12 starts that she didn't place top 2, and this was her first loss to another mare in her career. Some believed this was the end of her story. Another amazing career, unfortunately cut short. The racing world began to count her out. In the 1995 Kyoto Grand Prix, she was at the back of the pack as they rounded the final corner. In a flash of her old self, as she did so many times before, she once again showed her explosive power.
そして外からはシアマゾンステージジャンプ、外からシアマゾンが追ってきた。シアマゾンがぐんぐん伸びてくる。内からマーベラスクラウン、先頭はシアマゾンだ。これは強い。あと2番手には内からタマモハイウェイ、ナイスネイチャー。外からはステージジャンプ、最内から大豪ソウル、あるいは神のマジック。2番手大激戦。シアマゾン先頭、タマモハイウェイ2番手、シアマゾンゴールイン。
Accelerating through the straight, passing the entire pack and crossing the finish line with a 2-length lead. This, however, was the final triumphant victory of her career. She continued to race through 1995, but couldn't get back to the top spot. And in 1996, a flexor tendon injury during training forced her to retire, ending an amazing racing career which culminated in 10 wins across 20 starts, 9 of them being graded stakes wins. On top of her award for 2-year-old filly, she was also awarded JRA's Best 3-year-old filly in 1994 and Best Mare in 1995. All of which accumulated in career earnings just shy of the equivalent of $5 million US. She retired to her home stable in the US, and on a quiet day in April 2019, at 28 years of age, Hishi Amazon removed herself from the rest of the pack, found a quiet place to lay in the paddock, and closed her eyes for the final time, passing peacefully of old age. Her legacy isn't just in the numbers, it's in the way she fought, the records she broke, and the hearts she captured. She was a true champion, proving that even a quiet, timid mare could become a titan on the track, and she will always be remembered as Queen of the Fillies.